Okay, this technique is called lift out. Lift out is not blotting. Blotting is not something you ever want to do on any works on paper. So I want to demonstrate the difference and what it's for. Lift out can be used for something realistic when you want to lift out a highlight that is not a dramatic highlight. If you wanted to lift out a highlight that's pure white, which is rare, there's a few like that, you would either paint around it or use some sort of gum or masking fluid or tape, and paint it around. But lift out, similar to wax, removes some of the pigment or resists some or dries some so that you get some of the white back, but you never get it all back. But lift out is a beautiful technique for lifting out subtle highlights and creating gorgeous texture. It can be used in an abstract way or a realistic way. The whole key to it is Bounty paper towels. I hate to say it, but there's really no other brand that works for me. It's like Bounty towels are like this watercolorist obsession. Well, at least it's mine because of how it works. Yes, you're able to use other kinds of paper towel, but the ones in the classroom and most paper towels don't work too well. You don't have to use a ton of it, but it needs to be good. So this is Bounty. It's very thick. And the next key with your good paper towel is to fold it or roll it or shape it so that it's very substantial and thick in some way. If you're doing a specific shape, you would shape it into that shape to create that. If it's a rectangle or a circle, and some people do it for like flowers or leaves or whatever, but it's not a fast. Shouldn't have done that fast. What lift out is slow and hold and release, and you use as much physical force as you can without going through the table. It's only 1 or 2 shots, and it's deliberate, and it's a great technique for many of our projects. It can create different saturations. It makes the paint move back in around it. It's a gorgeous technique. So I'm just going to do a quick demo of how you might use it in an abstract way and how you might use it in a realistic way, or a more realistic way. Let's say I'm painting this picture and I'm doing an even wash and I'm doing the whole shape. And let's say I'm going to be building values. And this is not one of the areas that I've decided on in terms of leaving white. So let's say in this area I have my pot or whatever it is. Whatever. Just won't be able to see this. And let's say in this area there's a highlight. I'm going to do that a little better because I made it bigger so you can see it. Now it looks weird. So let's say this is my pot or whatever. So ignoring that weird line drawing underneath, I just wanted something to go by. Alright, so let's say that's it, and I want to do a highlight that's shaped like this that I saw in the picture. I would press hard, lift, boom. I don't go back in because now the paint is moving around the dry, and it creates this beautiful soft edge without giving that very heavy linear mark that happens. Now let's say over here it's another highlight, but maybe it's not as light, so maybe it's darker over here. And let's say I want to pull out a bigger area, and I still press, but maybe not as hard, but I'm still pressing once and lifting. So now I have 2 highlights. This one's stronger, this one's less strong. And then let's say up here I want a really bright one. I would fold this and just hold it longer. You can see it's got a little glow. So that's the process. And you can also wait and then press somewhere else. But I'm not blotting. I think the mistake people make is they go like this. and they go like this, they rub it, they do all kinds of stuff to fix it, and then it has to go in the garbage, because once the paper pills, it's no good. And sometimes people even make a hole through the paper. You don't want that. But that's the lift out technique. Now if you're doing something abstract, let's just say, you know, something abstract, whatever. And maybe over here, maybe there's some flowers on this one. Who knows? So you have to kind of wait a little, because you don't want it so puddly that the whole thing comes up. But it's all about shaping it. So let's say you're doing a design and you want to nuance it. You want it to have more layers of activity, more texture. You could press, release. You've got this gorgeous pale blue, but it's not quite as white as the background. I'm going to make kind of these leaf shapes. See, now that's getting kind of cool. You can see the nuancing. It's not just random. I'm considering design, I'm considering saturation. Now I'm getting some cool texture. And then maybe over here I want to do those flower shapes or whatever over here. Obviously, if you wait too long, it's too dry, and then you don't get that effect. You can also start to pull out a little water if it's really puddly, but in this case it's kind of working the way it is. So you can see how gorgeous this edge is. It's like this natural edge that you got from pressing and releasing. You even can create volume even in this space. Like if I pressed here, and maybe here. Now this almost looks like it's in front of this, but take a look at that. In this tiny little area, you've got cool hard edges, you got soft edges, you got this kind of scumbled edge of a beautiful leaf, you have this blue. There's all this kind of play back and forth and back and forth, and that's what the paper towel does if you apply it the right way for the lift out. So that is lift out.